What's up, everybody? My name is Nathan from The Umbrella Fight, and today I'm going to show you 5 more incredible indie titles you should definitely have on your Steam wishlist. This showcase runs the gamut of inspirations from Zelda 64 to Devil May Cry and even old-school ASCII art games like Dwarf Fortress. If you're looking for something interesting and new to play, these upcoming indie titles take pages out of the best books and put their own spin on them. Alright, enough of the intro. Let's get into it. First up, we have Lucid. Lucid is a unique take on the Metroidvania genre. Instead of keeping the combat at its core, Lucid takes the movement and puts it in the hot seat. Don't worry, there's still combat to be had here, but what really shines in Lucid is the movement and momentum. You play as Owen, who is on his way to his cleansing ceremony, a rite of passage for young sentinels, the game's main group. Throughout his journey, Owen will need to be quick, agile, and think on his feet, or in the air, really. Owen controls beautifully, with quick, responsive movements and a momentum system that will keep you in the air as much as possible as you traverse the different biomes. You'll encounter unique enemy types and obstacles that are designed to help the player lean into the nimble and deliberate movement systems, which all work together in a way that just feels so good. And this is to say nothing of the gorgeous pixel art that the game boasts, as well as the textured and layered soundtrack. The color choices are bright and vivid, something the creator Eric mentioned was in the forefront of his mind while making the game. And the soundtrack works well with each area in Lucid. Speaking of Eric, the Umbrella Fight team got an opportunity to catch up with him in a long-form interview on the last podcast, Thursday, September 25th, for those watching this at a later time. Eric is super cool, extremely nice, and had some great things to say on his game, the gaming landscape, and all kinds of other things. You should definitely check it out. Anyway, Lucid is a total joy to play, from the responsive controls to the interesting characters and everything in between. You should 100% put this game on your wishlist if you have any interest in Metroidvanias at all. You will not be disappointed. Remember this game? How about this one? Of course you do. Would you love it if they had a baby together? Well, if you said yes to all 3, I have some great news for you. Introducing Malapataka. Published by Hellforge Studios and developed by a solo indie dev named Sanditio Bayu from Indonesia, Malapataka puts you in the boots of a spacefaring warrior who is ready to kick some robot ass, or whatever robots have that's closest to it. Indonesia has a few great titles that have come out in the last few years. There's A Space for the Unbound by the fine folks of Mojikin Studios, Coffee Talk by the skilled devs and writers at Toge Productions, and Coral Island created by the talented Stairway team, just to name a few. Malapataka is a more than worthy addition to this list. Everything in this game drips with style from a developer who very clearly loves to do what he does. From the music to the bombastic gunplay and even the level's layouts, Malapataka brings it on all fronts. The game starts out with a good old "holy moly, the ship's blowing up, gotta escape quick" tutorial sequence that gives the player a great but speedy onboarding. If you've ever played Doom though, you'll know around 75% of what's going on here. The fun part is that Malapataka introduces some new spins on the classic Doom formula, like power-ups, a hub world, persistent world states, and even has some aspects pulled in from Doom 64 and Doom 2016, like shifting landscapes and glory kills. And it of course has some awesome weapons to play with, like an ice shotgun that can propel you forward and freeze enemies, or the classic shotgun with a secondary 3-round burst. These enemy bots won't stand a chance against old Pataka. If you're a fan of Doom, Mega Man, or both, you should go pick this one up right away. And it's out right now! I put the Steam link in the description below to make your life easy. Seriously, I had so much fun playing this one, and I just know you're gonna love it as well. Back when we first started this channel, we reviewed a smaller indie title called Azeran, the Demon Bottle. It's a great entry from a developer named Benji that screams classic Legend of Zelda dungeons. Benji has been hard at work on his next title in the series, but instead of carrying on with the NES pastiche or even the SNES type game, Benji jumped right into the Nintendo 64 era with his upcoming game Azeran, Islands of the Jinn. In Islands of the Jinn, we get to play as Zaid as he goes on a quest to find the astrolabe of Al-Shamardal, which can give passage to the owner to the 5 planes of the world. How powerful it truly is and its precise location will be up to the player to find out. I remember playing the heck out of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and the newest Azeran entry brought me right back to that experience with good swordplay, a puzzle-laden dungeon, and some classic Zelda controls. True to the Zelda forms, Azeran wears these influences on its sleeves in a great way, though thankfully Zaid doesn't go yeah every time you roll. Let's just hope Benji can also avoid the hey listen of the Navi type character. You can play the demo for Azeran the Islands of Jinn right now. How long it'll be until we see the full version, who can say? But what I can say is that you should check it out and wishlist it on Steam right now so you don't miss it when the finished game drops. Azeran is a great throwback to the days of yore when the low-poly dungeon crawler reigned supreme and is shaping up to be a stellar addition to the catalog of the genre. Definitely be sure to give this one a look. So, here's one you might not have heard of yet, Divven. Developed by Sigil Games, this one's an action side-scroller with a Metroidvania core and some super cool Devil May Cry Dead Cells elements. And it does a really solid job of mixing exploration with some very punchy and satisfying combat. You play as Fior, a warrior born under a celestial blessing who finds her quiet northern island suddenly overrun with monsters and invaders. Which of course means it's time to grab some weapons, channel some divine energy, and start cutting a path through swamps, ruins, and all the spooky places you'd expect. Combat here isn't just button mashing. You've got combos, parries, dodges, and all kinds of sick moves. Even the ability to launch enemies into the air. It's the kind of system that rewards you for actually paying attention, and it feels super good once you're able to lock in. On top of that, the rune system lets you tweak your build in interesting ways, sometimes with trade-offs that change how you approach a fight entirely. It's the sort of system that welcomes many different playstyles. Divven's art style leans heavily into moody, atmospheric pixel art with a strong use of lighting and shadow. Environments like swamps, ruins, and catacombs feel dark and oppressive, while flashes of divine energy and runic effects bring sharp contrast and color. It's that blend of gritty detail and mystical flair that makes each area feel both dangerous and otherworldly. Divven is packed with atmosphere, and the level design makes sure you've always got something new right around the corner. And while it does have a tutorial to ease you in, don't expect a long grace period. Once the training wheels come off, it gets fairly tough quickly. I had a blast playing through the playtest, so I highly recommend giving it a look. I'll leave a link down below so you can go right to the game's page and join the playtest right now. If you're into Metroidvania games like Dead Cells or Hollow Knight, Divven is one to keep on your radar. It's shaping up to be a strong entry in the genre, and definitely worth a spot on your Steam wishlist. Alright, this last one is legit weird, in a good way. Introducing Effulgence RPG by Andre Fomin. Effulgence is a party-based sci-fi RPG where your enemies are more than just things to stab. They're raw material. Yep. You actually break them down into particles, then use a matter printer to forge weapons, gear, machines, whatever you need to get by. What makes it stand out, apart from this strange but awesome crafting loop, is how it looks. The whole world is built out of text symbols arranged in a 3D space. So imagine ASCII art, but brought to life with depth and motion. Buildings, creatures, even effects are made out of characters, symbols, glowing bits, floating particles, etc. It's like someone turned a terminal into an alien planet. Andre's previous work includes the brightly colored and super fun Coin Op Vice, a take on the Miami Vice motif but in a coin op arcade-style world. Everything from the soundtrack to the gameplay feels like an old-school arcade mashed up with modern gameplay and such. Coin Op Vice isn't all ASCII art, but you can see some of what Effulgence does peeking out from its seams. In Effulgence RPG, you explore dozens of locations, strange alien ruins, maybe decaying temples, weird landscapes that are more symbolic than literal. The only way to get crafting materials is to fight enemies, then break them apart into particles. Once you've got enough stuff, you use blueprints, of which there are over 100, in this printer machine to build your gear, weapons, and other helpful mechanisms. There's also a solid upgrade character development system. You won't just be printing ever better gear, but also shaping how your party grows. Skills, upgrades, probably some choices that affect your playstyle. Plot-wise, it's kind of haunting. You're exploring a possibly deceased or dying world. The idea is that the signals we've received from far-off galaxies sometimes are just fragments. Text symbols, broken imagery, that kind of thing. Effulgence imagines what happens if you decode those fragments, piece them together, and maybe discover more than you bargained for. If you like games that make you think, that are visually novel, or just want to play something unlike most RPGs, this one could hit just right. It isn't out yet, but it is set for release around October 23rd, 2025, so wishlist it and keep an eye out, because it's weird, beautiful, and maybe even a little creepy. Anyway, thanks for hanging out and checking out these amazing indie titles with me. Every one of these games represents a small team, or sometimes just one person, pouring their heart into something unique. So if a game stood out to you, go wishlist it, follow the devs, and show them a little love. It really does make a difference. I'd love to hear which one grabbed your attention the most. Drop it in the comments or tell me about another hidden gem I should feature next time. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a subscribe go a long way toward helping more people discover these incredible indie projects. Until next time, I want you to remember 3 things. 1, you're awesome. 2, you're loved. And 3, what you do matters. Remember to call your mom or dad and tell them that you love them. I'll see you guys next time.